Jansen Harris here with the Combat Sports Podcast. We're presented by Ya Socks. Look, Yordenis Ugas, unanimous decision victory over Manny Pacquiao. He improves to 27-4 with 12 KOs. Look, one thing I noticed about Yordenis Ugas, he used that same formula as Floyd Mayweather Jr., using his reach, using his jab. That's what he was able to do. That little double jab, the little awkward right hand hitting Manny Pacquiao on the side of the head, sometimes the back of the head. He was effective. He was the harder puncher. Manny Pacquiao, not enough head movement. Manny Pacquiao, not enough footwork. This probably is going to be Manny Pacquiao's last fight. At least we hope so. Because Yordenis Ugas, he looked fresh against him. He didn't look hurt. He looked like he controlled the fight. In the beginning, yes, Manny Pacquiao, he was throwing a lot of punches, but Yordenis was able to block them. He didn't look as quick. He tried to give the fans an entertaining fight. There was even some speculation that maybe Manny Pacquiao won the fight because he threw twice as many punches. But at the end of the day, Ugas was accurate. Ugas used his jab like Floyd Mayweather did when he won back in 2015, and he was successful. He didn't get the knockout. He's not a pretty fighter like that, but he could box. To me, he beat Shawn Porter. In his last 13 fights, he's 12-1. I'm not saying he's an elite fighter. That's a different discussion. But to me, he's really 13-0 in his last 13 bouts. But we'll give it 12-1, close bout against Shawn Porter. But now things are going to get interesting in the welterweight division. I think Ugas is up for a rematch with, if Terrence Crawford doesn't fight Shawn Porter, I could see him fighting Porter, maybe Danny Garcia, Keith Thurman, names like that. I think Errol Spence, we're not going to see him until 2022, but Ugas is going to be big paydays. He's the guy now that many people are going to say, hey, well, he beat Manny Pacquiao. He's very popular. Now he's the full-fledged WBA champion. People were saying he wasn't the real champion. You're taking this belt away from Manny Pacquiao. He's just a paper champ. Well, he proved tonight, the scorecards, 116, 112 on two scorecards, and 115, 113. He proved he is the undisputed WBA welterweight champion. The question now is, and he's a very active fighter, who is next? I don't think he's going to unify the belts, which they were asking him questions with the Errol Spence. I don't think that's next, but that's what people are talking about. But I think Ugas is going to enjoy this victory, and they're going to see him fight a name like Danny Garcia, maybe a Mikey Garcia. One of those Garcias I could see them fighting. I could see him fighting a Keith Thurman if he ever decides to fight, if he's healthy. Or Shawn Porter in a rematch, part 2. People want to see that bout. The first one was close. I thought he won, but maybe a rematch there. But Errol Spence Jr., Crawford, those names are going to pop up, but I think that's unlikely for his next fight. I'm Jansen Harris here with the Combat Sports Podcast.